Anime is coming back with a bang this summer, and the best way to watch it is with the OG streaming service Crunchyroll. God of High School, ReZero Season 2, Fire Force Season 2, and new Sword Art Online episodes are coming to Crunchyroll this summer and will be streaming in beautiful high definition on all your devices. Try Crunchyroll Premium right now for free with the link down below, crunchyroll.com/geekdom. Try it out and don't miss a single episode of all the new anime coming out. Plus, classic favorites from the past are still available on Crunchyroll. Hours and hours of anime at your disposal. Try it out. This summer marks the 5-year anniversary of Dragon Ball Z Resurrection F coming to theaters, all over the world back in 2015. And even though the movie is a bit old, there are still some curiosities about the film and about the anime version of it that people may have. The movie was received well when it first came out, but since then, people have really not liked it as much as before, for a lot of different reasons. But that doesn't really matter in this case because there are some questions in that movie, some questionable things that happened that even to this day we're still kind of wondering about. So I want to talk about it here on this video. The topic, of course, being Vegeta never actually dying when the planet blew up. If you remember what happened in the film, Vegeta's fighting Frieza. He's defeating Frieza in blue. Frieza then blows up the Earth. Whis puts a shield around everybody and protects them from the explosion. The explosion happens, and then Whis pretty much states that, well, Vegeta would survive the explosion, but Frieza's still alive. And so because of that, it was kind of told to us that Vegeta died because he could not breathe in space. But there's some things about that aren't exactly correct, and also some things that you should be aware of too. So we're going to get to it here in this video. Joining me on this video to discuss, he's got a whole list of explanations as to why Vegeta actually did not die. We're going to go through them here one by one. Joining me on this video, please welcome for the first time on Geekdom 101, Sosa is here, and make sure you check out his channel. I'll leave a link down below in the description for you to check it out. But what's up, bro?
What's up, man? How you doing? I appreciate the shout out and everything like that. Thank you so much for having me on. It's awesome to be on here. I feel like I made it. This is truly a dream come true. You have no idea.
It's all right, bro, man. You came to me with a pretty interesting video topic, and one that I also wondered about because I'm watching the movie and it didn't make any sense that Vegeta didn't breathe in space. Now, I know what some people are going to say. They're going to say, well, Geekdom, in the anime filler, the Garlic Jr. arc and the stuff with Planet Arlia, that's all filler. We never actually saw Vegeta breathing in the manga. And it's like, well, that's true. Vegeta did not breathe in space in the manga. However, putting that aside, logic would tell you otherwise. And obviously the main point of this is not about canon. That's not what this is about. It's about Toriyama, the man, forgetting stuff. Because even though he did help with the Dragon Ball Z anime loosely, he was mostly focused on the manga, so he probably didn't even remember the filler from the 90s. That Garlic Jr. stuff was in 1991. He didn't even remember any of that. So, that to me is more so on Toriyama and on the fact that he doesn't have a continuity editor, and that's why we have so many plot holes. And there's not that many, but there's a few. But there's actually other reasons. So Sosa, you have the floor, bro. Explain to the people why you believe Vegeta did not actually die from choking, I guess, in space.
Yeah, forgetting all that filler stuff. We'll just forget about that. I know he destroyed the planet with the bugs on it and all that. We all know. Now, there is that controversial piece in the Toyotarou manga that states that the Vegeta and Goku cannot survive in space. That is only a statement, and unfortunately, Toyotarou, I believe, isn't the best following the continuity, even though he's vastly improving. He's a great artist, and I have utmost confidence in him. In the Broly movie, the creator was actually thinking about having the Saiyans fight in the sun, Broly and Vegeta and Goku, so that kind of counters that point. So what I'm going to do is try to break it down scientifically. Humans actually can survive in the vacuum of space for 15 seconds while not losing consciousness. They can communicate, they can do everything. So basically, Vegeta is faster than light, literally at this point, way faster than light. He would have had plenty of time to put up a key shield or just be able to hold his breath. And also just the sheer amount of power that this dude has as a god.
He was trained by gods, bro. Right. Breathing in space should be like less than 2, and this guy's already at less than 8. You know what I mean?
Especially considering everything that they've been through with Goku fighting Frieza and worrying about surviving that. You don't think that they're not aware of this weakness and haven't trained for it? That would make no sense. That would make them extremely ignorant.
Right. And on top of what you said, people are going to bring up the whole stratosphere argument about Goku and Beerus. Even though in the anime version of Battle of Gods, Goku and Beerus fought in deeper space in the stratosphere, but even in the stratosphere, number one, you can't survive. It's a straw man argument because people cannot survive in the stratosphere, even because the oxygen levels, what you said, 1%, right?
Yeah, it's less than 1% of the oxygen needed in order to survive just for a human. You think that they can fight all these intense battles in the stratosphere, which is the upper stratosphere, because the lookout's actually in the lower stratosphere, according to Toriyama. And you think that they all of a sudden they go up 1 mile higher than the upper stratosphere, and now they can't just survive at all, but they were absolutely fine before? No, they
Nah, it doesn't
don't
make any sense.
for a long time.
Yeah, no, it doesn't make any sense. No argument from me. It's dumb because people will always throw that out there and say, well, that is Goku and Beerus does not prove Goku can breathe in space. It's like, well, no, it kind of does, bro, because the stratosphere is right there. And again, you have to remember that this is an anime and we're dealing with these characters who, Vegeta has had planetary level destructive power, planetary level, since the Saiyan saga. And this is not really a power scaling video, but it's something to be aware of because he says it himself. And so it's one of those things where, like, these guys are not just now achieving this power. They've had this for a long time. And it's just really hard to believe that in a world where you have characters that can destroy multiple planets, solar systems, the universes, they can't breathe in space. Like, it's just weird to me and it makes no sense. And so that whole idea, I agree with you. What else? What other points do you have?
Yeah, I have a video that'll be coming out on my channel later on that covers all these points. But yeah, you would basically have to argue that Vegeta is less capable than a human because he would have been able to figure out a way to survive it. Now, and then do the whole planetary durability thing is out. A lot of people say, that he would have been willing to sacrifice himself against Goku as well. But that's not true at all. He has always chosen life above winning a fight, or he would always run away above winning a fight or his honor behind that. He did sacrifice himself for Boo, but that was for his family, not his own pride or his own life. So I just wanted to cover that counter real quick. He wouldn't have committed suicide to beat Goku when he already was capable of destroying the Earth.
You mean Frieza? You mean Frieza?
No. Vegeta, whenever he first fought Goku.
Oh, okay, the first time. No, you're right. If he would have blown up the Earth, would he have, like, at the speed of light gone into his ship and left? I mean, I guess he could have done that, but it's a very odd choice from Toriyama. Now, what about the comments from Bulma? Because there's interesting comments made by Bulma, and she seems to be the only one to make these comments.
That's a very interesting part right there. Bulma was the only one who ever mentioned him. If you actually look at the other fighters, which Bulma is not a fighter, she is extremely smart, don't get me wrong, and she knows Vegeta, right? But she is not a fighter. No one else is concerned about Vegeta at all. They didn't even mention him. And Bulma, I'm sorry to say, I'm not hating on her. I absolutely love her character, but she's not always been the most common sense person. She literally took her baby and nearly got him killed when chasing the androids because she just had to be a part of the action. She's not the smartest whenever it comes to that. She doesn't know how much Vegeta is capable. She can't.
Well, she doesn't know about combat. That's the point. She doesn't know about combat. That's the point you're trying to make.
Exactly. Now, a lot of people say, well, why wouldn't Wiz console Bulma whenever she was crying about him? Because no one else was concerned about it.
Also, I just want to say one thing. Whis is not the kind of guy who will console people, bro. Like, Whis is the angels, like we've talked about a lot in recent days too. They're very neutral. They don't really catch emotions. They only care about food. He wouldn't be that kind of guy. And plus, he was pretty confident when he did the time reversal that he already knew what he was going to do. You know what I mean? He already knew.
He wasn't that concerned about it. And as you pointed out before earlier, in the Resurrection of Frieza movie, that Toriyama actually had more stake in.
Toriyama wrote it. He wrote the entire thing.
He had way more stake in that one. Whis directly says that he only saved the Earth for the food. He wasn't concerned about Vegeta or anyone else at all. He gives no Fs about anyone. And that was actually confirmed in the last chapter of the Dragon Ball Super manga that Toriyama wrote. They don't care. They stay neutral about it. They're just dismissive about the whole entire thing, him and Beerus. That's why he didn't console her or anything like that. And in order to be able to use the logic that because no one else could sense Vegeta, you would also have to use that same logic about Frieza. Why did he only mention Frieza and not Vegeta? Well, because Frieza is a direct threat to his food.
Right.
Frieza, yeah, that's the only thing he's concerned about. And Frieza directly gets in the way of his food, whereas Vegeta does not. And the planet exploding blocked their key sensory. King Kai couldn't sense Goku when he was fighting Frieza. When Namek exploded, he wasn't able to see that. He was able to make it off. That has a history behind that. So if you're wondering where Vegeta was, and that's your logic behind him dying, is that he never showed up, he never flew to the key ball or anything like that, then you would have to say the same thing about Frieza. I bet Vegeta was chasing Frieza wherever he was going.
That's possible. I mean, it would happen off screen, right? I mean, that would make logical sense, but I feel like what really happened here is more so Toriyama kind of writing himself into a hole trying to be cute. And instead of having, and some fans are going to hate me saying this, but this is how I feel. Instead of having Vegeta just straight up kill Frieza, which would have been probably the more satisfying thing, he wanted to have another twist in there. The problem is that when you put so many twists in a movie, sometimes it can backfire on you. And we have an M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong situation here where he may have created this twist to kind of make the audience go, whoa, I wasn't expecting that, which of course we all kind of did. Like, they actually blew up the earth, and that was a cool moment. But at the same time, his explanation for it was bad. You know, there could have been a better, it would have been better if they didn't even mention Vegeta at all. But the problem is that they did, and, you know, we saying that, you know, well, he might not be able to breathe in space or whatever, that comes off ignorant too, because it's, you know, he was there watching Goku fight Beerus. So again, it's one of those things where it really
never actually said that. He never said anything about Vegeta surviving at all. Not a word.
I thought he said in the movie. Am I wrong on that? Did he not say in the film that?
I promise you, I have a video where I clipped out the entire scenes. He didn't mention Vegeta.
So
at all.
who mentioned the whole idea of Vegeta not surviving space?
Only Bulma.
So it was only Bulma.
Only Bulma. No one else was concerned about him because they knew he survived.
Okay, I could have sworn that Whis actually said that, and that's from the movie you said.
I absolutely promise you, bro. And here's another thing too. I want to comment about the stratosphere part.
Go for it.
The stratosphere also in the manga, because a lot of people counter with the manga, you know, where Beerus is fighting Goku as Super Saiyan God. They mentioned the stratosphere part, but after the stratosphere is mentioned, it's categorized on the manga panel. It shows another 3 entire panels showing them shooting upwards beyond the stratosphere. A whole nother 3 panels doing that. They went way above the stratosphere, bro.
No, they were. I mean, they in the manga and also in the Battle of Gods TV version. I mean, you could even make an argument for the movie, even, but based on where they were at. But even if we go with it, again, you can't survive the stratosphere if oxygen is what you need. It doesn't make any sense. So it's just what it is, folks. If we're being brutally honest here, it's just bad writing. I mean, no offense to Toriyama, but this Toriyama is not the same one from the 80s and 90s. And he's an older guy, and he forgets what he wrote. And I think he wrote himself into a hole. So he just wrote this, and I just feel like it is bad writing, you know, if we're gonna chalk it up to that. So, any final thoughts, bro?
Sorry. Well, I was gonna say, you know what? I bet Toriyama was probably trolling us right there. Maybe he was trolling us because you know how everyone loved Vegeta and he ended up killing him. Now, of course, he did get resurrected, but maybe he was doing that.
He was purposely doing it so he wouldn't have to write Vegeta to kill Frieza, right? That's
right, exactly. He was implying that maybe he died, but not ever directly saying that he did, just to make the fans mad.
Yeah, he does tend to do that. He does. One thing about Toriyama is he does subvert expectations, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. It just depends on the person and, how it affects the rest of the plot. And the problem is that it makes no sense and it affects the rest of the series, with or without the anime. If we're just looking at the manga and everything that happens, even the Goku Beerus stuff, it's just, there's too much evidence to prove that Vegeta could not have died over that. It just doesn't make any sense.
He would basically have to be weaker or less capable than a human and be below planetary durability, which we all know is not true at all. So I think it's in my opinion, set in stone that he survived. And if anyone else has any other proof, any other counters, I would love to hear them. If it's all right with you, I'd like to mention a couple other things. Is that real quick, that Vegeta had plenty of time to react while the plan was exploding.
Right.
He could have definitely made something.
Right.
I just wanted to point that out right there. And but yeah, that's it.
Yeah, the planet exploding. I mean, even you could even make an argument that maybe it happened in really fast time, and maybe for the purposes of drama they slowed it down. But at this point, we have Vegeta, who his senses are so high. He's such a powerful character at this point that he is beyond the speed of light. And way beyond, I would even say. I mean, you could make an argument that even in Dragon Ball they surpass the speed of light. Definitely in Z. And so either way, she would have been able to react to it. It's Toriyama just kind of trying to mess with fans and not really doing it in a very thought provoking way. So with that being said,
bad fan translations either. There's bad pirated ones that are on there that says he died, but if you actually go to the official Crunchyroll site, it doesn't say that he died at all. It directly does not say that at all. It just says, "I'm not going to thank you." Whereas the other fan translations, they say that he thanked him for saving him, and that's not what he said at all.
Yeah, you got to be careful with those as well. Those are old too. But yeah, if you go to the official Crunchyroll, which is free by the way, Crunchyroll has all of Super up for free, and you go to that episode. And you go to that episode, which is episode 27. You can see it there, the real subs, not the fan subs. So
Right.
yeah, because some folks probably just watched the fan sub and never went back to watch it like with the real subs, and that makes sense. No, I can't blame them for that because those episodes suck. I don't blame them for not wanting to watch them. You know what I mean? I like the movie more than the TV version for sure. TV version was a mess.
Dude, way more. It gets way too much hate. It's a shame.
I mean, the movie has issues, but the TV show has more issues. So,
So let's be thankful for what we have.
well, I mean, maybe. I just wish it was better. And this is an example of how it wasn't. You know, again, same. And this is the same movie where Toriyama has Frieza writing about how much power he wants, and it's like so below his scale. Like, Toriyama just forgets things. That's the bottom line. So, again, check out Sosa's channel. I'll leave a link down below. He does unique kind of deconstructive content with different opinions about things that you may not think about, including he has the video about Goku versus Superman. That's a different perspective. And thank you for being here, bro.
Thank you so much for having me once again, man. This was a real treat. This was super fun, and I can't wait to see you around the way again. Maybe on another video. We'll do another interview soon.
Whatever you want, bro. We'll talk soon. And everybody leave a comment, and we'll catch you next time.